Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. We're going to be talking about former teen mom star Mom-Kail Lowry. Her son, who we've all known to grow and love, is Isaac. He now goes by Elliot. He was just on his mom's podcast, Barely Famous, where he talked a lot about who he is. I mean, while we've watched him on the show, we watched him on Teen Mom up until probably about the age of like 6, maybe. And after that, we watched him on social media because Kale has a very strong social media presence. So we have watched Isaac from the day that he was born. I mean, until today. Here we are still watching him. And he did say, so let me just put this out there because I'm going to struggle to call him Elliot. I will forget. So through this episode, through this live, I may call him Isaac at times. I will try to call him Elliot. But he did say on this podcast that it's not a big deal if people he says he understands it's going to be tough for people to make that adjustment from Isaac to Elliot. So it's not like it's like that big of a deal. He just feels like if he's told you, he wants you to try to respect that, which is absolutely what I'm trying to do. I have no problem calling him Elliot. We'll absolutely love to call him Elliot. I think Elliot is very fitting for him. He looks like an Elliot, which it's his middle name. So it's not like he's changed his name to something that nobody is used to. That is his middle name. But just to be clear, because I don't want anybody to comment later, saying, "Oh, you keep calling him Isaac, and he's asked to be called Elliot." He is very understanding of this. That it's going to be difficult for people to make this adjustment. He said it was for, I think he said that it was for maybe Kale at one point in the interview. So okay, you guys. Also, a couple announcement. We are talking about a child here. He is 16 years old. So let's be respectful of that. Kale did announce on the podcast that she's not making a dime from these episodes. This is a series. I think, well, we know for sure it's going to be 2 parts because she said at the end of it to stay tuned for part 2. So there's going to be multiple segments of the podcast with Elliot on there. She did say that she's not making money off this, that anything made on these episodes was going straight to Elliot. So anyone that's saying like, oh, she's making money off her kid, at least it's going to him. So there's that. A couple of things. The title of this was called From Isaac to Elliot, a story about identity and boundaries. So we're going to listen for a few clips. We're going to listen to a few clips. And I do have the episode linked in the description box if you guys want to go check it out. And so basically what this name change is, Ashley said, I don't agree with the name change. Sad face. So this is just his middle name. It's not like he's going to a completely different name. And he even explains why. It's really nothing to do with, he said he felt like Isaac never fit him. He said, I just felt like Isaac never fit me. And I felt like I was more of an Elliot, So it's like if you decide to go by your middle name, it's just not a big deal. But like I said, let's keep in mind that we are going to be talking about a minor here. And this, honestly, I went back and forth with if I even should cover it. I made a TikTok last night after I saw some things that was posted on there. Someone on Reddit posted like the highlights of what was said in part 1. And I did a TikTok, not really thinking too much into it. And then people were commenting like, this is a child that you're talking about. And then I had to ask myself, like, ooh, is this too much? Like, should I be talking about, what's going on with a child coming out? Like, is this my business? You know what I'm saying? And normally I would say no, but I do cover reality TV stars. I do cover celebrities, and we're not just going to be talking about him coming out. That's not what all this is. So I did have to kind of go back and forth with myself. Like, how do I feel about, should I just let him tell his story and me not? Because I also had somebody comment saying like, you're telling his story for him. And all I did was just give a recap of what was like the highlights of the episode. But I definitely encourage everybody to go listen. I'm not trying to tell his story for him. That's why I'm actually going to play a couple of clips, because I'm not trying to twist what he has to say or twist how he feels. But let's go ahead and let's get into, you guys. I think those are all the announcements I have, I think. Let me check, guys. All right, let's see. So yeah, it's a sensitive subject. Oh, And he's going to discuss the pictures that were leaked of him going to prom. And he does say that he had already planned to do this episode. He had already planned to appear on his mom's podcast to share the truth about who he is. Thank you, DNA. Thank you for becoming a member to the Elle Bee channel. I appreciate you so much. And I love those horses. I grew up around horses. So he did say he had already planned this. So it wasn't like, those pictures pushed him to do something. He almost did, but he had already planned this. So he had already decided, hey, I'm going to do an episode on my mom's podcast where I'm going to explain who I am, talk about the name change, talk about this, talk about that. However, I'm going to address those pictures in a minute as well, but let's go ahead. Let's listen to a clip. He explains in this clip why he decided to do this episode. So let's listen. And can the mods let me know if the audio is okay?
I'm very nervous for this episode. I'm here today to show you who I am, not who you saw on TV for 12 years of my life. And it's very important to me because I feel like growing up on TV, it's hard to show who you really are when a camera is in front of you all the time. It's almost like you have it's like a TV face, It's harder to be yourself and to be more comfortable because it's going to be everywhere, all over the internet. It's also weird because people will take what's online and make it their own, and it's not the truth always. So I'm here today to show who I am. Going into this, I was pretty confident. I'm definitely ready. But stepping into it, I felt a little nervous, but I think it's important to talk about. Let's get it going.
This is going to be emotional. I have no...
Okay, so I do want to say something because they let the show, and I think that's interesting. And if you don't care, I don't understand commenting. Who cares? You could just, go find a video that you do enjoy. If you don't want, I completely understand. Some people don't care. Unfortunately, I cover reality TV news here, but him talking about he wants people to know him for who he is and not who they've seen on the show. Also, he hasn't been on reality TV in a couple of years, and I do think a lot of us still see Isaac as see Elliot as this little 10-year-old kid. It's the same with like Alana on Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. We still see her as a kid when we see her online with long nails and living with her boyfriend. We're like, they're too young for this. When in reality, they're not. They're growing up. They are growing up. While he's still a child, he's not 10, he's not 11 years old. So I do get him wanting to speak out to say, I'm not the little boy you guys saw on TV. He sounds like a baby. I know he does. He does still sound young. Now, he has some expectations of the listeners, and we're going to listen to that clip where he talks about what his expectations are. If I can get the timestamp down. Sorry, guys.
With the listeners and viewers of this episode, do you want to go into a little bit of detail about that?
Yes, I really want to make it clear that this is for me, and for all the people that say things like, oh, we always knew, or oh, I bet his dad doesn't like this. Like, things like that is not necessary. And I want it to be clear that this is for me. And I've built up the courage over time to make it known. And let me have my moment. I'm really sick of people coming up with their own stories and like putting things in their own words, and things coming out on other people's terms about me, because my life isn't entertainment for other people. My life is my life. I can do what I want with it, and for people to take things from my life, like personal stuff, is not okay. If I want to share that, I should share that on my terms.
So right before he went into this, he was asked about expectations. Or the lady said, "You have expectations for the listeners and the people that follow you and support you." And he basically said, like, "I want to be able to release things on my own." Um, he wants boundaries with the people that follow him, and I completely, I get that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, even if you live in the public life, you still want to be able to share things when you're ready and not have to do it when you're not ready. Unfortunately, the world that we live in, people are vultures. And I want to say this. So, when the prom pictures came out, because I have to take accountability here, okay? When the prom pictures came out, I saw them, I commented, and I asked, "Where did these come from?" As I was scrolling, I saw that page saying, people saying, like, "Oh, you shouldn't have posted these." And that page saying they came from Kel's page. They came from her page. His mom posted it. If she posted it, they're fine. And I thought, oh, okay. I talked to another creator behind the scenes through messages. They said it was fine. They were posting them. Kel posted them. Not a big deal. I posted the pictures on my Facebook. Maybe, I don't even know. I would say it was less than an hour for sure. I don't know exactly how long it was though, but at some point, I saw maybe even in my comment section, somebody said he did not want these posted. And I immediately ran to Kale's page. They were not posted there. I ran to Elliot's page. They were not posted there. I immediately deleted them. And I even reached out to other creators and was like, hey, Kale did not post these. I don't think we're supposed to be posting these. And one other creator took them down. The other ones did not. And that's sad. And I felt horrible about it. I felt like I really should have took the time. When I saw that page saying Kel posted them, rather than just believing that page, because honestly, this page is not the page. They don't have I should have just known better. And I should have done my due diligence to go and look to make sure rather than just believing it. So for that, I apologize because I would never in no way want to post something about a child that they don't want posted publicly. And yeah, I felt bad for that ever since. Even in the video that I did last night, somebody was like, "You posted the pictures." And I had to say, like, yes, I did. I did, but I deleted them the second I found out that they were not supposed to go public. And there's pages that still have them up. There's pages that literally still have them up. That never took them down. That never said, you know what, I'm going to take these down. But Elliot does talk further about that in a little bit, and we will get into that later. And what's even worse, you guys, is some of these pages I just have to wonder because when you post something like that, like a post on Facebook, if it gets good engagement, it can make you a couple $100. If it gets a lot of engagement, it may even make you a couple thousand. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's some pages that they just care more about the money because if you post a picture of Carly, especially if you posted one of the first pictures of her, especially if you posted one of the first singing videos of Carly, you may bank off of those. Okay. And even though, like, and listen, I'm very disappointed and disgusted with Kate and Tyler's actions. But I do know that they did reach out to these pages and was like, please take these pictures and videos of Carly down. And these pages just did not do it. So yeah, I just feel like when you care more about when you know these kids are saying, please take this down. I was not ready for this to come out. And you say, not gonna leave it up. Like, who are you? Who are you? And obviously you care more about money. Okay, so the next clip that we're going to listen to is he talked about how important it is for him to set boundaries in his private life. And he says he already has boundaries in his real life. So now, he needs to set boundaries in his private life. So we're going to listen to that. Maybe. All right. Thank you, B.
Yeah, I think, well, for me, it's important to have a private life because it's like, if I'm just like all over the internet all the time and have no social life with people around me, like that's like, what is that, you know? Like, it's very important to me to have a private life too. So I feel like it's important to have boundaries within that. Even for people that I know personally that know about me being on TV and stuff, like boundaries for them to not share my personal life with the world. And just anybody, like fans, like don't take something that I share with my personal life and put it publicly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also have to be more cautious of that.
Yeah, I think
So he knows, like obviously Isaac with his mom being Kale, he knows they from I know that Kale has a private Facebook account. I know that she does. Things have leaked from that, which honestly is sad. That's pretty disgusting. I have a private Facebook account and I have a public one, and I'm not nowhere near on the scale of Kale. But I can tell you, like the other day, I saw a TikTok creator had obviously been on my Facebook because they had posted some things about on my Facebook, and it was they actually posted a screenshot from something up from my Facebook, and I was just like, "What? Like, what's that's an invasion of privacy." And when you have people on your, if you have a private page, obviously you're gonna have the people that you trust on there. Um, you think that it's locked down. So then when stuff comes from that page and the son's showing pictures of your private page or T pages or showing something from your private page. I can't even imagine like how that feels. Then you got to wonder, okay, who is on my page that's leaking this stuff? Because everybody that's on here, I trust decently enough to have them on here. So who's doing it? So I do think we have to live in reality with the fact that unfortunately there's just vultures out there that there and I don't say this, I'm not saying like I feel like Kale and Elliot, they do live in reality. That's why he said, as much as I want this to be this way, like I still know that it may not be this way. And that's good that he does understand that, because unfortunately there's some people that they'll do it no matter what, even if you ask them. And Kale even talks about that. Kale even talks about the prom pictures that I think she said she messaged them and they didn't respond or something like that. So we'll get into that. But yeah, he said he set boundaries in his private life, and now he's setting them in his public life with like the people that follow him. Please don't be stalking his private stuff. And if you somehow come across something that was found on his private page, maybe you don't share it. And I think boundaries is such a good thing. And you know what? A therapist said the other day, you should feel okay with setting boundaries. Like you should be able to tell people like what you want your boundaries to be, and they should respect that. Or like when you have to tell somebody no, you should feel okay with telling them no, don't do that. Like this is what you know what I'm saying. And unfortunately, the world that we live in today, especially like the way that I grew up, I don't know. I feel like you can't tell nobody no almost because they'll get mad at you, or and it's just not okay. So, all right, we're gonna skip to where he talks about the lady interviewing him asked, at what point did you start paying attention to what your mom went through being a public figure? And how did that affect you being on social media and you kind of deciding to be a public figure? Seeing what your mom went through, like how did that affect you? So we're going to skip to that really quickly, and he's going to talk about that. And like I'm not playing the whole thing because I feel like that would not be right of me to play the whole thing. I do have the link if you guys want to go check it out. All right, here we go.
Go through this. At what point do you feel like you started paying attention to the things that she goes through, specifically on social media? Take the TV out of it and like the filming aspect, but at what point do you feel like you started paying attention and deciding for yourself when you decided to go on social media? I want to operate this way. I don't want to operate that way. Maybe in your personal life, you talked about the boundaries that you have for the people around you. When did you decide to start having those and like implementing them?
I started noticing things like with you and started learning from you and what you've gone through and what you post and what's on the internet of you somewhat recently, like maybe a bit over a year ago. I noticed things of that nature, and it helps me build a strong sense of what to do in certain situations. I think that it has helped me a lot. Seeing through your eyes how you do things, it helps me do it better. You know what I mean?
Well, I think there's a difference between like an influencer, a content creator, and then someone like me who literally shares everything. And I think that you've watched and you've seen rumors about me that you know are not true.
Yeah.
And so
That's what I think she was asking too. Is like, you decide to become a social media influencer because he did. You know, he was already known, but he decided that he was going to make an Instagram and start posting "Get ready with bees" and you know what I ordered from Shein versus like what I got or how it looks, and doing his ASL videos and you know what vinyls he has. He has become a social media influencer. I do follow him on Instagram. I don't follow him on any other platform, but I assume he may be everywhere else. But I think that's what she was trying to get to, like seeing what your mom went through, seeing how like it's almost impossible to have boundaries. I mean, to be quite honest, it is impossible to have boundaries. I think it's commendable that he's trying to set them and say, hey, if you follow me, if you like me, you know, if you've watched me on the show and you have some affinity for me, can you please not do this? I can have respect for him for doing that. Um, do I think it'll have? I hope some people will obviously do that for him. Some people will care enough to say, you know what, this is what he's asking. I'm not going to do that. However, there's going to be those that don't, whatever. But I think that's what she was asking, was just seeing what your mom went through. You still decided to go through with it and become a social media influencer yourself. Um, but how did it affect it?
you kind of get to look at the bigger picture and decide what you want for yourself when people are not deciding what they want for you and taking it and running.
Mm-hmm.
For when you decided to start having your boundaries within your personal life, at what point do you feel like you gained the confidence to start doing that and implement those? And was it because of things that you've watched, or was it like you were like, I need this for myself?
I decided for myself to set boundaries more recently.
When you say set boundaries, what does that mean for you? Like because I think that we need to make that very clear. What are your boundaries? Like, are you saying that you're not going to talk about your personal life? Are you saying that you'll speak on things when you want, that you really don't want to put your personal life out there? Like, what are the boundaries to you?
Boundaries to me are, I'm going to share what I want to share when I want to share it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not going to share everything on the internet, but I'm also not going to share nothing on the internet. So I think it just needs to be a sense of respect. Like,
you don't want people commenting saying what you should share, what you shouldn't share, what they think of you. You don't want any of that.
Yeah, and
I've kind of already seen that. You know, he's like, I don't want people telling me not to share this or I should share that. And even in the comment section on my TikTok, people's like, he shouldn't have said that, or he should have did this. And at like 16 years old, he's already saying like, I don't want you guys telling me what I can and can't share. And I do feel like before Isaac decides to share anything, he's going to have a conversation with his mom. It's not like he's just going to throw caution to the wind and go sharing things publicly without, you know, conversing with his mom about it.
also don't like when people of my personal life go into those comment sections and put things out there that I did not share myself. And I've seen things like that before.
B chocolate. I don't want to. Can I read your comment? Because I actually think I actually agree with that. B chocolate says he keeps talking about setting boundaries, but he's been raised in Kale's bubble, so he has a skewed idea of what privacy is. He's a great kid. Honestly, I would have to imagine if you're raised by, you know, I guess what they call them nepo babies. She called him a nepo baby. I think maybe he would qualify as a nepo baby. If you have a famous family member, whatever, famous parent, you absolutely have a skewed version of what's, I would assume, right? I would assume you would have to have your versus a normal person versus a person that is not in the public eye. Somebody's going to take offense to me saying a normal person. I'm not calling Isaac abnormal. Okay. I'm saying outside of like versus someone that's not raised in the public eye versus someone that's not a celebrity, even if it's a D-list celebrity, whatever you want to call it, like versus someone like that. I don't think you could really, I mean, you even hear people say, like Alana said it on Kale's Fairly Famous podcast when she was on there. Kale asked her, like, do you ever wish you were raised normal? And she said, well, I don't know, because I don't know what normal is. Like, I don't know what that would have been like. I have no idea what a normal life would be. So I think you're right that, like, his idea of privacy is already going to be different from what, say, like somebody like mine would be.
I had words with two people specifically who did not come to me, and they reshared stuff about you that really pissed me off. I blocked them. I told them, don't ever fucking talk to me again, because at the point.
Sorry, guys. I do think that's the only part that she does curse. But this is her talking about the pictures. This is her addressing the photos of Isaac, the prom photos that was leaked. And she did not reach out to me. She didn't tell me to never speak to her. So I don't know who she's talking about, but I know it wasn't me. It's probably one of them Team Mom pages that wouldn't take them down.
Point that you and I did not share them, and you did not share them. What the fuck made you think that that was okay for you to reshare that without talking to me and confirming with me? It did not come from either one of us.
Right.
I think those are fair boundaries, and those what's understood should not have to be explained.
Yeah.
But
What's understood should not have to be explained. You guys think about this, though. Kale said she did not share them. Elliot said he did not share them. So that means maybe the person that Elliot went with, maybe he or his parents shared them. How did somebody find them? That's my question. Is I want to know who found them and why did they decide to post them or to send them to a Team Mom T page? That's weird, you know?
for some reason, we're sitting here and like explaining. And I think the cool thing about Patreon, like the people who are on this Patreon,
it's real.
They are respectful and they
Yeah.
have been patient, and they know that you're going to share and I'm going to share what we want to share. And they're the ones who are supporting you, and they're the ones who are going to support you whether you decide to share what's in your personal life or you don't. They're just here to support you. And I love that about this community specifically because they're not pressuring you. I see their comments. I read what they have to say. I know, I see their feedback, and they don't expect you to just share everything. And I think that's the community that we want to continue to build off of.
I agree. Like Kel said, the people that really care about them is not going to expect Elliot to explain anything unless he's ready to. All right, the next clip that we're going to listen to is the interviewer asked Kale, as Elliot's mom, being on TV, being on social media, being a public figure, and know what kind of life that brings. How do you feel with your son deciding to do that? How do you feel with Elliot deciding, oh, I want to live this life too? So that's what we're going to listen to next. And I think she has a really good point here.
So Elliot's life on TV, social media, what is this like for you? To like know it, but then also have a child that wants to go through it. So you're looking at it as a parent. What is this like for you?
It's been a roller coaster because obviously I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of you. And I want people to see you and like know you and feel your energy. And like, you're so passionate about things that people, I think, overlook. And so on one hand, I like want you to do all the things, right? Like you have a real opportunity to impact people's lives in a really important way. But on the other side of it, like I understand what comes with that. And I just want to protect you from all of those things. And it's hard because and I'm speaking for the entire cast, and I hope they don't get mad at me for saying this, but I truly don't think that any of us understood the implications and impact of what we would have on our children. And at the end of the day, like we weren't thinking that we were exploiting our children. For myself, I signed up for this show out of pure desperation and needing money and needing to figure out a way out of the situation that I was in. I don't think that I ever thought about where we would be in 15 years. I thought it was right now, I'm going to get paid, I'm going to figure this out, and I'll get my life together for my son. And so I have a hard time now because I know the benefits of social media. I understand the benefits of being a public figure, the opportunities that can come from it, but I also know where that leaves us mentally sometimes. It can be draining. It can be so many good things, but it can be so many bad things. And so as your mom, I want to protect you, And I want to be able to say, okay, that's great, but don't do this, this, and this. But I also understand as a human being that sometimes we have to learn the fucking hard way. We got to do it ourselves to learn that lesson. And sometimes it's the same lesson over and over again until you fucking get it. And so I don't know. It's a really weird place to be, because I know so many people that I've talked to on Barely Famous that have been like, I would never let my child be a part of this industry, or my child's never getting social media, or I understand all sides of it. And I think that no one situation is alike necessarily, but I know for you, there's a place for you to be passionate about ASL online, and there's a place for you to be passionate about your vinyl collection, and there's room for you to do all the things that you want to do on social media, and there's a balance. But I think that we do really need people
find it.
Yeah, to find your balance, but also for people to respect that. Like, you are a child. So I say all that to say that it's been a really hard place for me to be in as a parent and a public figure at the same time for you.
And two, that makes a lot of sense. Kail, here's the thing. Kail being who she is, if Isaac did not want to be in the public eye, he would have to have private everything. And then people would still probably dig to see who he is. And I don't think just because he wanted to live a somewhat of a private life, but he didn't feel like, I don't have to lock my stuff down. Like, why can't I just have regular social media? Why do I? And he just posted like a normal kid, wasn't trying to do the influencer thing. You really, unfortunately, you can't do that. So you really can't do that. He would literally, if he did not want to be a social media influencer, he would literally have to lock all of his stuff down. And this still worry that some's going to get out, But I agree that, like, there's a place for him to be who he is on the internet and do his little Sheen hauls and all of that. And just for anybody that doesn't understand, that says I need to let this play all the way through and I don't have to stop and give my commentary. This is Elle Bee's channel. If you want to hear the podcast all the way through, go find it, because on this channel, I have to follow certain rules, which are copyright guidelines. I cannot just sit here and play the whole thing through. If that's what you want to hear without my commentary, go find it and listen to it. I'm going to stop and give my commentary. And most of the people in the chat, that's what they appreciate and that's what they want to hear, which is why most of them are here. Like I said, if you don't want to hear my commentary, go listen to it. But on YouTube, you cannot just jump on there and play a podcast in full. You have to stop and give commentary, and you can't play the whole thing. You're not supposed to. You can get a copyright violation, and I'm not doing that here. All right. After that, how many in the chat likes to hear my opinion on this? How many in the chat? I mean, I don't know how many times something happens in the world of reality TV, and I get an email like, I want to hear your opinion on this. When are you going to go live? Please go live so I can hear your opinion. So, like, if you're not here for that, I understand. When people comment saying, just play the video all the way through and stop talking. No, I have a YouTube channel because I like to talk. All right. Now this was interesting here. The next part that we're going to listen to is Kail asked Elliot, do you ever get upset with me that I had you on TV and that we were on TV? Do you ever get upset with me for that? And he answers that here. And he is just so sweet, honestly, with his answers. Because he could be like, hell yeah, woman, I'm mad at you. I can't have a normal life because of you, But no, he's like, you know what? I recognize that you doing what you did got us here. You said when you were saying, what? Elle, you said, we're saying, I don't know what you're talking about, Sharon. You said when we're saying, shut us down. I don't know what that statement means because I don't really think it's coherent. Or I don't think it's coherent. Retype it and I'll try to read it and see if it makes sense then. All right, so let's listen to that part where he talks to his mom when she asked him, do you ever get upset that I had us on TV? I'm actually going to start a little before that because honing in on these timestamps are a little bit more difficult.
It would be different.
I would like to think that I would look at it from a different perspective because I could see all the apps, all the internet, all the trolls, all the forums, all the things. Back then, Instagram came out after you were born. Or I got on Instagram after you were born. So it was very different. And so I think that also played a part. Do you ever feel resentment because I had us on TV your whole life? Like, do you get upset with me or angry with me ever?
No,
It's okay if you have been.
no, I don't. I really don't. I might feel a way that we were on it for so long, but at the same time, I try my best to look at the positives, and we wouldn't be right here in this moment if it wasn't for everything you've done, you know? And I just couldn't see it another way, and I'm really grateful for you.
Okay, come on, Sharon. I got it in me today, okay? I try to be nice, but you know what? When you do this, you can get a little like because you have people coming at you all day. No, if somebody comes in my chat before he's ready to, and somebody please tell me if I'm wrong with this. Um, before Elliot is ready to come out, if you're coming into my chat speculating that this child is gay, yeah, we're gonna shut it down. And most of the time, I don't. My mods do because that's something that we all agree on. It ain't if I did it like I probably did. But usually I don't even have to because my mods will shut it down. If you're in my chat speculating about a child's sexuality before he's ready to come out, yes, we will shut you down. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even have to be about a child. The other day when we were talking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and people were saying that Kim was gay, when people talk about Tyler being gay, we shut it down. We sure do. And if that's what you don't like, unsubscribe. I don't understand. Like, what, Sharon? I've seen you leave comments on my page before, though, where you always feel like you got to call me out, and I don't really understand why. Like, what is your problem? Do you really think, Sharon, that me saying, hey, let's not speculate about a child's sexuality is wrong? Now he's come out with it, and that's not what this video is going to be about. It's not going to be about just that, as you can hear. Yes, that's been hit on, but we're also listening, like talking about several other things that he talked about on the chat in this podcast. So we're not just like that's not what this video is just going to be about. So Sharon, please let me know why you think me shutting the chat down before he came out saying let's not speculate, why that's wrong. Like, what is the problem with that? I mean, if you disagree with it, that's fine. But why call out a content creator? Because I don't feel like that's like bad morals to be like, oh my goodness, I watched this content creator and we were in her chat guessing saying that a kid was gay and she told us not to. She's a bad person. Like, what the hell? All right, anyways. All right, now we're gonna get into why he goes by Elliot, okay? Like I said, these timestamps are hard to to like. All right, let's see. And Elliot is his middle name. It's not some name. It's not a name that he just decided to go by. I mean, thank you, Lisa. Thank
Still
you.
have feelings. We're not robots. So just come up to us, have a conversation, and I'm comfortable. I'm cool.
Oh, this was interesting too, and I didn't obviously because we can't listen to the whole video. Where they talk about here, they talk about him not necessarily want to take pictures with fans. And Kale said, like I don't really mind taking pictures with fans, but he does not. And she said, and he said, you can come up to me and talk to me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You can come to me, talk to me. He said, I love talking to people. I do love talking to people, but just don't like pull me into a photo. And they said that has happened. They were out somewhere and like this elder lady like pulled them, grabbed him to pull them in to take photos, and he didn't want to. So he did say when he's out and about, just if you want to approach him, he's more than happy about that. You can approach him, you can talk to him. Elliot's folks, I want to give it. Oh, thank you, Marcy. Thank you. So he said you can approach him, talk to him. He enjoys doing that, but he doesn't like taking pictures. And Kale was so funny because she's like, I take pictures, he does not. She said, but it is stressful for us because she's like, some days I got 3 chins. We don't get to see the photos once you take them. We don't know where they're going to be, so maybe we don't want to take pictures all the time. But she did say that she tries to, but he said he did not like. So that's what they were talking about right there. Okay. All right. So now he's going to talk about why he goes by Elliot.
Elliot, we're obviously referencing you as Elliot.
Yeah.
And that's what you would like to be called moving forward. And that's what we all call you in your personal life.
Yeah.
Can you share with us why you go by Elliot now?
I started going by Elliot because at some point I wasn't happy with my first name. I don't know. Like, I just, not because I don't know. Like, it just doesn't feel like me or in some way.
Can I share
I get
why
that.
I thought
get
you
that.
were not doing Isaac?
Huh?
To build a separation between your life on Teen Mom and who you are today.
Yeah. No, that's part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I thought that I mean, and I don't really remember the conversation. I just know that like Elliot
Yeah.
started coming home and like all his teachers. So you started going to a new high school. It wasn't
Yeah.
the high school that you like would have gone to. The paperwork all said Elliot. Like the
Yeah.
teachers were writing Elliot, and it was like comments about Elliot. And I was like, wait a minute, are we going by Elliot now?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's hard once you know somebody has a certain name, right? Like
especially if it's family.
my childhood people, all my mom's whole side of my family, even my dad's side of the family calls me Kaylin. Like it will never be Kale.
Yeah.
I got the nickname Kale when I was in 8th grade, and it's stuck ever since. So for me, if you call me Kaylin, you must have known me from my childhood.
Yeah.
So for you, everyone's always called you Isaac. So now retraining our brains to call you Elliot, obviously we're getting used to it, but Creed
started calling me.
recently, he's 4 and he started calling you Elliot, and it's so funny. He's like, who, my brother Elliot? And I'm like, first of all,
Yeah.
how easy was that for him? But like, I think I can appreciate the separation between who you were and who you are today. I think that is cool for you to recognize. It's cool for you to sort of decide what makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
And that was your decision.
And I think people's looking into this as like he's changing his name because like he's coming out. But I don't think that's what it is. He's saying like I've never felt like an Isaac. So I think he got in high school and he just said, you know what, now that I'm going to this new school, I'm gonna go by Elliot. I don't think it's tied. I mean, it could be tied to that, but I don't think that if it is, that's not the whole reason. I mean, when I'm walking around somewhere, if somebody says my real name, I'm like, what? Like, even in school, I was called my nickname. So, I mean, sometimes people just don't feel like their names. When he said that, I do get that. Even when my husband calls me my real name, I'm like, what? He likes calling me by my real name, but it's weird to be called by your real name when it just I don't know, it doesn't fit you or whatever. All right, the next clip that we're going to listen to is they asked him if he felt that it was necessary to come out. I'm going to put my opinion out there. And Kale said this on her podcast. She said, as a straight person, you don't have to come out and be like, I'm straight. I'm straight. So I really don't feel like this is something that bothers me. Is like Tyler. We can hate him for, those weird text messages. That's fine. But it's like if you see a guy that's feminine, everybody's got to say, "Oh, he's gay, he's gay, he's gay," and maybe he's bi, but he just decided. But I'm in love with Kale, and I have a family, So I don't know. Like as an adult, when I see people say that, and I see it so much doing what I do here on my channel. Oh, Tyler's gay. I'm like, well, maybe he's bi. And he likes kale or I don't know. It's just weird that people I don't think they should have to announce it if they don't want to. If they want to, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to. And I don't think the public should pressure them especially like if you're a celebrity. If you're a celebrity, the public should not pressure you. Because what if you grew up in a family that does not accept it and you're still figuring out how to deal with that? And then you got like Lance Bass, okay, like Lance Bass from NSYNC. He was outed by Perez Hilton. And Lance Bass grew up by a family that were not very accepting back then. And he was outed. And that's horrible. It's horrible to like not let somebody decide when they want to make announcements on their own or if they even do. All right, so yeah, we're gonna listen to him talk about did he feel like he needed to come out? All right.
Elliot, what kind of support do young people like yourself need when making the decision to come out? Do you even feel like it's necessary to actually come out? What are your thoughts around that?
I don't think it's necessary to come out. I mean, I'm doing it for me. So you can do what you want. Like, if you feel it's necessary to come out, then do it. But if you don't, then just be yourself. You know, like, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. So just be who you are and be true to yourself. At the end of the day, it's for you.
There's so many things I want to say. There's specifically to this. Nobody wakes up and tells their family they're straight. Literally
Right.
nobody.
Yeah.
The other thing is, the being born gay versus choosing to be gay. Are you choosing to be straight? Because last time I checked, when
Yeah.
you are straight, you just wake up and you're straight.
hmm
So why would it be different for someone who's nobody's choosing to put themselves in a place where they're
Do y'all hear that noise? My air quit working again, and my husband is like spraying it off with a water hose, and I feel like it's super loud. You guys let me know if y'all hear it. I'm sorry.
facing adversity and dangerous situations?
Right.
Nobody's choosing to put themselves in a position where their family is kicking them out and they're on the streets. Nobody's choosing that. And
Right.
so I really just cannot encourage you guys enough. And I'm speaking to the adults who are having children or maybe have family members that are homophobic. I'm speaking to you guys as like, one, well, maybe don't have kids if you're not going to love them unconditionally. That's
I
number one.
agree.
And number
And
two,
everybody here?
your child is not choosing this. This
Yeah.
is something that is
Y'all can't hear? My mic's working. All right, you guys let me know if y'all can hear now. That's weird. Okay, some people can hear, some people can't hear. Some people may be behind, some people may. Can y'all? Oh, y'all can't hear the water. I need to quit with myself.
They're born with.
I
Like-
believe they're born with. And so if you don't like what I have to say, I encourage you to do some research to really look into it and understand like why you just feel like it's wrong.
How dumb of me to be like, can y'all hear the water hose in the background? It's really loud. Make sure you guys can't hear it. And then when y'all start saying, I can't hear, I think that I've muted myself again. I'm sorry. I mute myself so much that I thought somehow like I did something.
Like that is the only like
Yeah.
you feel like it's not natural, but it is.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't, nobody would choose just to be gay,
Yeah.
just to be gay.
Nobody would do that with the things that people go through with that, you know, like, you're gonna choose the easy route.
What kind of support do you feel like you've had that other kids do not have?
We're not going to listen to that part, but he obviously has a lot of support. Kail has came out as bisexual. Her best friend Becky is in a same-sex relationship. He has a lot of support in that area. Let's see. The next part we're gonna skip to is how did you know your mom was a safe person to tell? Which really we don't have to listen to that part because he just says she's always created a safe space for them. They asked him, "Did you feel safe to tell your brothers?" And he's like, "Yes, absolutely." And then Kail asked him, "Do you feel that I or your dad did something to make you gay?" All right, so let's go to that part. Did she or Joe do something to make him gay? All right.
So I did anything or your dad did anything in your childhood to make you gay?
No,
Because
absolutely not.
people have said that you weren't around your dad enough, or I, was doing certain things in my parenthood that turned you gay. Do you feel like any of that is true?
No. And like, I mean, I have had 50-50 custody. It's 50-50 custody, so been with my mom and my dad equally. I think that people confuse like who they're around, like the parent. They confuse it with like masculinity. You know, like it's not about sexuality. It's about how masculine/feminine they are.
So to you,
I think she asked that because people have commented that, like, oh, Isaac's gay because he don't spend enough time with his dad. Isaac's gay because Kail has a revolving door of men. I think that's why she was asking that. Like, it does sound just surface level. If you don't know why she's asking, it sounds like, well, that's a really weird question to ask. Did me or your dad make you gay? Like, did we do something that made you gay? That's a weird question. But then when she explains it because of the comments that they've gotten, I understand why she just wants to like put that out there that it was nothing that we did, right? All right. So the next part that we're going to listen to, he discusses the prom pictures. And if you don't know about the prom pictures, Isaac went to prom with I think they said it was a junior that asked him to prom. And I think, I don't want to put out false information, but I know some people said this is, he's in a relationship with this fella. He's a junior. He asked Isaac to prom. These pictures went up on the internet somewhere. Now, Kale and Elliot did not post these, but I did see somebody in the chat say that the boy's mom posted them. Now, she may have thought it's fine to post them. Nobody's gonna, you know, I just have my family and a few friends on my page, so they're not gonna get out, but they still did. But they got out. Pages posted them. I posted them. As soon as I realized they were not meant for the public, I deleted them. But there are some pages that did not delete them. And this led Elliot to feel like he had been outed.
So this episode was planned out for a while, and
Yeah.
you had a lot of conversations with mom and things like that. And then unfortunately, your plans were disrupted by somebody publicly posting some photos that were shared on a private Facebook page from prom. Do you want to talk about that? How it made you feel, the impact that took on people around you, and just take us through what that was like?
You went to prom. You were asked to prom by a junior,
Yeah.
a male.
Mm-hmm.
And those pictures and videos were leaked.
Yeah.
And then I got home crying.
Ugly crying.
He said Kale was ugly crying. That's funny.
How were you feeling?
No, so he went to prom with a boy, and then a week later went to prom at another school with a girl. So he didn't go. Well, I mean, I'm sure it was with a group. They may have went with a group of friends, but he was the date. Like this was a date, for like, I think they even held hands on one of the photos. So this was like he was the date for one of this guy. And then, okay, just as somebody that like reads body language, Isaac seemed very comfortable with the guy that he was in the pictures with. Laugh, what they call a Duchenne smile, where it goes up to your eyes, like you can see it in your eyes. When you have a fake smile, it doesn't look natural. He had a real smile on these photos. I think he was holding the guy's hand. Now, I will say in the picture with the girl, it was more like, I'm going with my friend. You know what I'm saying? The other pictures seemed more romantic versus the ones with the girl. They just seemed like he was there with a friend.
Feeling when you saw that everything was leaked?
I was devastated. I also ugly cried before you got home. It was very disappointing because, I mean, nobody knew that we were playing this episode, but it's just disappointing.
So this episode was planned before the leak.
Going back to things being on my terms, it's like, even if you thought you knew I was gay already, like, it's disappointing that I couldn't
share your own experience,
share it on my terms.
Agreed.
And the way it happened was just not okay. It was very, I don't want to say negative, but it was very like,
at the point that you did not post it yourself, or I did not have permission to post it on your behalf,
necessary.
Was just a violation. It wasn't even about respect. It was about the fact that you're a minor, and it was a huge violation of just your privacy in general.
Yeah.
And I think that was really, really heartbreaking.
Yeah. And honestly, it's not even about just me anymore. It's about the people who are in those pictures. It's about the people,
their safety.
Yeah, their safety, and
maybe they weren't out yet.
Exactly.
Maybe he wasn't out. Maybe his family didn't know. Maybe his friends didn't know. And now you've put them in a dangerous, both my son and, his date, you put them in a very dangerous position. And I think just to have
Could you imagine if the other guy wasn't out yet either? Holy crap.
Or post go viral or your post get likes or for
Mhm.
your post, like for that instant gratification of yourself, you leaked pictures of minors to be able to say that you heard it first or that you have the information first or you knew it, you called it,
For
you
money.
this. Not even money. Because I don't even think
I mean-
anyone got paid. I mean, I
Oh,
think
yes,
the
they did.
TikToks maybe, but
Oh, yes, they did.
reposting pictures for what?
And that's the problem. People don't understand that if I don't share it, it shouldn't be out there. You know,
If you did not share it yourself on your public and that's the catch 22 that we were talking about is like
Yeah.
your private internet stuff is not actually private. It's
Yeah.
private, but it's not private. People
Yeah.
will people
people
in your
that are
circle.
on it, that
And I've
are,
learned
you know,
that the hard way, and I've learned it so many times, and I still haven't really learned it. Is like, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I want to trust the people around me.
mhm,
And I think, oh, I can just post this on my personal Facebook.
yeah,
But there are people in your real life circle, unfortunately, that will they will prey on your downfall, and they will post it, and they will take it, and you'll never know. You'll know when
Yeah.
you'll find out when it's entirely too late.
You guys were
Yeah.
planning the episode before that happened.
Yes.
mhm,
And that was on your terms. That was having conversations
Yep.
like what we're having now, which I'm very glad that you still wanted to, share it this way and have everything out in your own words.
mhm,
I know you had told me that you went to Mom about wanting to post something immediately.
Originally, before
So once those pictures were leaked, obviously an emotional situation for him, for Kail, for his date, but he wanted to make a post on Instagram. He wanted to make a post on Instagram, and he texted his mom and told her that he wanted to make a post on Instagram. And she has the conversation. She's going to read what he said. So let's jump over to that. They talked him out of it because they're like, you're just angry. Like, you're going to say something that you regret.
Elliot and myself,
yeah,
once all these pictures and things leaked on social media, they just kept coming.
yeah,
You texted me and you said, I'm not letting this slide, by the way. I won't wait till Pride weekend. And I will be posting a video about this because my boundaries are crossed and I won't let it go on anymore. We have made it very clear to them and they continue to disrespect me. It was a full circle moment for me because I have been in that place so many times.
yeah,
And Kristen, Alessandra, other people have said, Kail, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. And I would be so angry and so upset
Yeah.
and so heartbroken about whatever it was that I just wanted to speak on it right now.
yeah,
And that this is where that cliche saying comes in, like, what's done in the dark will come to light. But I literally texted Elliot back and I said, don't do that. You're going to regret it. I promise you. And anytime that I have immediately responded out of, being emotionally charged, anger, hurt, whatever, because I wanted to explain myself and get the last word and for people to see me for who I am,
everyone
it
takes
always
it negatively.
backfired and it always made things worse. And you said, in what way will I regret this? And I said, they will not listen to you either way, no matter what you do or say. You're letting them win if you do that, and I don't agree or support you posting the video. You said, I'm a human being, and if I speak up, they'll shut up. And I said, you're allowing them to rip this from you. They don't give a fuck, and no, they won't shut up. They literally won't. They'll spin whatever you say, and it'll get worse. You'll give them everything they want. They'll say, oh, confirmed. Yep, he said it. I knew it. And then what? You said, but they're going to rip it from me anyway, so I might as well speak up. And I said, might as well not. You're acting on emotion and impulse right now.
And that's exactly true.
And you said, but I can't wait any longer. I said, you're not going to solve anything. I understand the frustrations because I've been there. You can absolutely wait. You're going to make it worse. I have not steered you wrong yet. And it's not worth it, Elliot. I promise you. And you said, I just don't understand people. I responded and said, you will drive yourself crazy trying to. You cannot control what they do. You need to take time. Use this as fuel to make sure you say everything you want to say. Write it in a note on your phone, but you cannot let them win this. And he said, okay, I love you. You're right. I am acting on impulse. It's just not fair that they can get to me like this and I don't even know them. And I just said, it's okay to be mad, but write it all out on your phone so you start to feel better. It's not fair. It's actually heartbreaking. And I fully agree.
It sucks that he feels that way because, of course, you're like, how can somebody do this? But at the same time, and Kail lives this life. So I really just hope that she's driving it into him. There was another part where Kel did tell him that his private life is his, but unfortunately, anything posted, even on his private socials, can get leaked. And I really feel like that's really got to be something, that because he's like, I want to set boundaries. I'm asking you guys that follow me to respect those boundaries. And I just, even in the text that he sent his mom, he said that they've done it for the last time. And it's like, they haven't. I'm so sorry, but they haven't. It sucks, but they haven't. And it's the sad reality of, him being an influencer, him being Kel's son, as much as everybody can wish that they would respect Elliot, Carly, Bentley, all the kids from the show, there will be people that will not. And it's really up to the parents to really drive it into their kids that while, yes, you want it, it's normal that you want privacy, and you should be able to have some privacy, you're not going to, more than likely. I don't really understand the criticism for Kale giving her son a safe, supportive platform to share her story. I do always think that she wants the best for her kids. With the internet, you can never win. There's going to be some people that is praising her for it, some people that's going to give her criticism for it. That's one thing that I've learned with the internet. You can never win. That's why I've decided I'm going to start speaking up for myself rather than, I'm always like scared to make somebody mad, and after doing this long enough, you just get to where you're like, okay, like, you got to speak up for yourself. Kel told him that just because he grew up on TV doesn't mean he has to put all his life out there to the public. Kel says she doesn't want to live her life, that she, even though she puts her life all out to the public, there are still some things that she wants to hold on to, but she knows that she can't because it will leak. And she feels like they talked about this, about how Kale wanting to hold on to some things that are private, but then feeling forced to put them out there because she knows if she don't, someone else will, and she don't want people to take that away from her. She don't want, like with the pregnancy, with her being pregnant with the twins, she tried to keep that a secret for a while, and outlets reported it. People took pictures and sent them into T pages, and she ended up. Well, actually, no, she didn't. I was gonna say she ended up posting about it, but she didn't post about them until she had them, I think. But she did say at other times she has went ahead and released things just because she worried that somebody else would. So let me see what other notes I have. He did say he does realize once you put something out there, you can't get it back. So he thought really hard about this podcast and how he wanted to go about it and if he wanted to do it, because he knew once he put it out there, he couldn't undo it. All right, so we're not going to listen to any more clips, you guys. But overall, I thought it was a good podcast. I thought it was a good episode. Isaac seems like a very sweet, and all the times that he teared up, like the times that you could hear it in his voice, the times that he was telling Kale, like, no, I don't regret you having us on TV because it's where we are today. And he told her, he said, all I'll ever need is you. Y'all, when I listened to that the first time, like as a mom, hearing your kid tell you that is just, that's an emotional thing, to hear your kids say, no, I don't regret anything. It's where we are today. And all I need is you. Like, oh, so yeah. But he doesn't want his story told for him. That's why you guys listen to the clips. I can't wait for part 2. Yeah, very curious. What else could part 2? What else could be in part 2? He addressed the name changing. He addressed the pictures. He addressed several things. So I'm very curious what part 2 will be about. But I'm definitely going to listen to it when it comes out. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Does anybody have any comments? We're at an hour. Also tonight, I'm going to watch Mama June over on TikTok. It comes out tonight, and I've decided every Friday night, going to go live, watch Mama June, and give commentary. And TikTok does have this cool little feature where like I can flip screen and point it at my computer so you guys can watch, like actually see what's going on. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I think it's like 8:30. Like 8:30 we'll do it. I know. The Teen Mom kids are growing up. They've been on TV, so they already have been exposed to what's going on in their lives. The kids have no privacy. Jace is back at Janelle's in Vegas. Allegedly, did you see? I did see that she's not at Andrew's. I saw the Sun, I think, was reporting that he was with Barb. I saw the Ashley say that's not true. So I don't know where he is. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know where he is. My TikTok is Elle Bee official, I think. Let me pull it up and I'll share with you guys. And I may be doing an interview Sunday, this coming Sunday. I'll post about it everywhere. I'll post on. Here, I'll share it in the chat. There we go. Okay, so this Sunday, normally I try not to work on weekends, but it will probably sometime after we get home from church. Sunday, I may do an interview. She said yes. I hate to even announce these things, but it is Friday. I'll make a post on my community tab on YouTube. I'll post about it on my TikTok probably. I'll post about it on Facebook. I'll post about it on Instagram. I'll post about it over on X. And it's just going to be a short little interview of a girl that was incarcerated with Julie Chrisley. Nothing big. Obviously, Julie Chrisley was a really good prisoner because she said, I don't have any dirt on her. And I'm like, honestly, I did not think that you would have dirt on Julie Chrisley. Just kind of what it was like in the prison when they found out Julie was coming, how Julie interacted with people and things like that. So it's not going to be some juicy, just, what it was like being in prison with Julie. My eyes are hazel. I'm central. I'm not used to saying his name. I know, me neither. I don't know how many times I almost called him Isaac. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end this one. People say, I know, I'm like, even if Ty Chrisley is gay, he's obviously not gay. He's obviously bi, and he married a woman, and he's happy in that relationship, I felt like that y'all saw me looking in the depths of your soul. Yeah, it's a good-hearted interview. Yeah. But anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like I said, remember, we are talking about a child. Can you show the flowers? Yes, I can. Here they are. Now this one started. My box falls all the time. And I have to pick it back up. So I've kind of messed this one up. But on the side that they don't fall, they're still. I need to bring some of my other ones out here to show you guys just how well they hold up. Roblox. Oh my goodness. I should have noticed with it being a Roblox account that it was probably your kids. I know. I actually haven't reached out to my source because news just broke last night that yesterday, that he was not at Andrews, and I actually just haven't had time to even reach out to any of my sources about it. But I will after I get off here. All right, so beautiful. I normally have a code for these, but I think my code expired. Oh, that's sad that they're broke. All Teen Mom kids should have their own show. That would be wild. All right, you guys, leave me your thoughts. Why is everyone obsessed with other people's sexuality and what they do? I know, because I'm kind of like, we don't have to know. You don't have to tell us. It's none of our daggum business. But if he wants to, because people's questioning, I understand that too. Because, I guess when people suspect it, you probably can't get away from the comments. Like, he probably posts a video of him doing ASL, and I'm sure there's probably comments like, oh, you are, you know what I'm saying? So it probably feels like, let me just go ahead and put it out there finally. But I really feel like nobody should be pressured into it. And if you don't want to, you shouldn't have to. I don't have to go around telling you guys that I'm not, that I'm straight, you know. Yeah. Right, Sabrina. I agree. You guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, follow, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.